With the thought of who is influencing you, I want you to think about who's influencing your middle schooler, your high schooler, and can they discern from truth and fallacy? Welcome to Learning with Boys. My name is Rachel. I am a homeschool mama for boys, and I have graduated too. Today I want to talk about the subject of logic and want to share some curriculum with you, but I want to share with you why I think it is so important. And the ironic thing is I didn't realize it was important until later in my homeschool journey. We are on our 16th year of homeschooling. I have a middle schooler and a high schooler this school year, and logic is a subject that my boys took in high school. And we really liked the curriculum, but I want to share something that was brought to my attention probably in the last year. But first I want to talk to you why I think it is so important. Our plan and desire is to teach our children about God, His Word, and His teachings. But I cannot help but think about what our pastor has said several times, and that is the biggest lie is that closest to the truth. So as we introduce our children to logic, the subject of logic, and the different kinds of fallacies they will face, we need to pray that God gives them discernment. Logic will give them that useful skill that can help them defend their faith, not only against critics, but also to discern against false teachings. In 2 Timothy 4, verses 3 and 4, it says, "For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itchy ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables." And in 1 John 4, verse 1, it says, "Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world." I just wanted to share, as a parent, as a Christian parent, Christian family, we just feel like it's so important to help our kids and pray for them to have discernment. And in teaching them the subject of logic, it will help with the mindset. Maybe they won't be experts in the subject matter. I'm not an expert. I enjoy the subject. I enjoy learning, but I couldn't go back and tell you every single thing. But it does help me to see or point out or discern a fallacy, not only in the world with products you might be tempted to try, or with political issues that are going on right now, but also in our Christian walk with the Lord and just keeping our eyes on God. So let's go ahead and look at a couple of curriculum. One we have used with my 3 oldest, and one is new to me. Now the author is not new, and I'm going to share how I was first introduced to him, and then what curriculum I may be trying with my middle schooler, maybe in 8th grade. I don't know if I'll do it in 7th, but I want to share that with you. Okay, the first set of curriculum we were introduced were these books, and that was through my 9th grade choices. It was a boxed curriculum for homeschool, Heart of Dakota, and they had an elective of logic. And I was very excited because I have never looked into logic. I think I was familiar with this book. My boys had not read it. I may have even had a copy, but just realizing the importance, and that's why I'm sharing this with you, because it really is important to help your kids have a little bit of knowledge that people can sound really good, but there is some fallacies in what they're saying. So this was something that I know is for an upper middle school or high school. It's really not a very thick book. It's the Fallacy Detective, 38 lessons on how to recognize bad reasoning. So the lessons are really short. I mean, you just have lesson 4, you have a few pages, there's a little comic there, and then you have the exercises. Now, a lot of times we would do the exercises together, orally. And let me tell you, with this subject matter, it's all new to them. So it may be something that whether you can do just with that child, or maybe it can be more in a group setting. Even if you have younger children and you just have them sitting with you, I think it would be fine and appropriate for them to hear what's going on. And with that, I will tell you, the other one was the art of argument. This really goes into all the different fallacies. So they have just updated this book, and I think they've added a few things. Like, you couldn't have the teacher's book and buy the new book they have out because there's many more pages, but it's still all the fallacies. Just with each chapter, they have added more information. So you're still learning about the fallacies one way or the other. This is the curriculum we have, and this is probably what we'll stick with. I don't know, since it's my last one, that I would invest in the new curriculum. Now, just to give you an idea of what is in here, if you are interested, I will put my readers on so I can see. They have what they call the different arguments, and then in each chapter they have several different fallacies that would fall under those arguments. For example, they have the appeals of motion, which is appeal to fear, appeal to pity, the snob appeal, appeal to illegitimate authority, and chronology, snobbery. So, and that's just one chapter. So in each chapter, you will have reading. Like in the very beginning, it said, introducing your child to logic, let's argue, and fight fair, how to make an argument without starting an argument. Just really being clear on truth is really what it comes down to, critical thinking as a way of life. And that's what it's about, is helping them think critically, especially, I mean, you don't want to cause arguments and fight, but you do want to be aware if somebody is sharing something that's false and that's not true. So with this, they have the student guide. They also have the teacher's guide, which is a little bit thicker because it's pretty much the student guide with the answers inside. I do want to share with you that they have DVDs. And in the DVDs, I will actually link, I found one, I think it's chapter 14, they actually have it on YouTube. So I will link that below so you can get an idea. It's a gentleman who I think, this is his subject matter. This is from Classical Academic Press, and he has some teenagers sitting with him and another teacher, I'm assuming, and they are just sharing the fallacy, talking about it, you know, helping them engage in the conversation. And I think that really helped my boys when they watched this. Now, this was actually not mentioned in the curriculum for Heart of Dakota, but my oldest was very visual. I just knew that he would benefit from this more than just reading it. So we've used it for all my boys. It's been very helpful in reading the chapter and then watching the video, and then I just schedule that out. So I did want to share that with you. So that is great. Now, this is definitely, I mean, it really depends on where your child is at. I'm going to tell you, I mean, I have boys and they say they don't mature as fast as girls. I don't know. I've seen some girls that are not quite very mature. So I think maybe starting with something like this, because that's how they do it, is starting out with the fallacy detective, maybe just in 8th grade, and then introducing something like the art of argument. Now, let me tell you about another author, a curriculum. Several years back, I purchased this book. It just caught my eye, and I'm pretty sure it was probably off Master Books. Yes, it's put out by Master Books, but it is Discerning Truth, and it is by Dr. Jason Lyles. He has written several things, and I actually just listened to his testimony and how the Lord just put this on his heart. He's worked with Answers in Genesis, and now he has his own, I think he's branched off a little bit, but he still is involved in that. Now, this is definitely more from a biblical perspective. Now, these are very, very good and would help you just in the real world. But I cannot say there's a lot, if any, biblical concepts in there. But this discerning truth is exposing errors in evolutionary arguments. And I bought this, I don't know, it's been several years. I actually read through it on a trip that we took, and it was very interesting. And I read it and enjoyed it so much that if you go back to some of my videos, this is one of the read alouds that I do last school year with my 10th and my then 5th grader. And it is somewhat of a hard read, but I was excited to see, and this isn't brand new, but it's somewhat new to me, that Master Books has Intro to Logic. And I didn't really pay attention to it at first until I seen who the author was, and it's Jason Lisle. So I borrowed this from a friend to look at it. This is not ours, but I was very curious, and really my curiosity was reading it. I looked it up on the computer, and they give you some samples that you can read through. So that's what I was doing. But what I thought was so interesting is I want to say most of what is in here is also in here. I read through one chapter. Let me see if I can look and see which one it was. It's funny because I was actually marking the spot, faulty appeal to authority. And so I thought, I wonder if he has that in here. And sure enough, he did. And when I looked at it and read it and compared them, it was almost the exact same thing. Now, in this book, there's a lot more because there's some introduction to logic, why study logic, and there are some extra chapters for sure. But even though it was so similar, I do feel like reading it with the bigger print and just some graphics and some pictures, that I think it would definitely draw a student more so than this book that was probably written to adults. So I am very interested in possibly doing this with my son, probably not this next school year, but maybe 8th or 9th grade. Will I do the Art of Argument? I don't know. I really like the biblical view on this, but there's some things in here that I feel like are important too in the Art of Argument. So, but with the Art of Argument, I like that they do have the DVDs. Come to find out, there are some DVDs, and they are supposed to correlate with this. Did you know that? I did not know that. But they're on his website. They are not on Answers in Genesis. They are not on, at least I have not seen them. If you know, let me know, but I have not seen them. And I'm trying to think, let's see if where his information would be. I'll try to find it and link it below where you can get the videos, because they were saying that you could just do it all as a family with the videos. So I thought that was very interesting because he did sell this curriculum on there. You can also purchase this from Answers in Genesis, not just Master Books. But of course, when purchasing it, they have the teacher's guide, just with any Master Books curriculum, and they tell you what to do and they ask questions. But just like I mentioned, because I did look at it all, with the Art of Argument, with doing any logic with your kids, I feel like it needs to be discussed. I feel like it's hard. It's a hard subject just to leave it on your own to figure out. It's just good to have a couple people talking about it with you. So I want to encourage you there. I know that seems like, oh, I need something that they can do independently. Maybe with the videos, like with this, the Art of Argument videos, that was helpful. Like that. So I haven't checked out these videos yet. More than likely, I will, because I think it would be just a good family thing to be familiar with informal fallacies that have to do with your biblical worldview. So I just wanted to share my thoughts on logic with you. Let me know if you have done a logic curriculum and which one you like. If you're interested in looking any deeper in any of these, let me know. I do know, like I said, Art of Argument, they have updated. They have added some charts and things, but I did notice on the site you can purchase the new version from Rainbow Resources or their website, which is, I'll try to link it all below, Classical Academic Press. But they did sell just the chart that would help you. And I think they also have cards, like note cards if you want to sort of familiarize them really well with the different fallacies and maybe quiz them, maybe just doing one a week, maybe spreading it over a couple of years, depending on the age of your children. So, all right, I hope this was helpful. I do appreciate you all watching. If you are new here, I would love for you to subscribe. I love doing homeschool content, past and present. And if this video was helpful in any way, please give it a thumbs up. And we will talk to you again soon.